Hello. This isn't a real episode. This is just a quick, I wanted to show you guys a couple things because, well, kind of, it's a couple cards that I want to get in the mail. And I don't know, I hope that's not weird. Like if you get this card, if I show a card on here or Instagram, I feel a little bit weird about mailing it to someone, like then it's not as special. Cause like, it's not like everybody is going to see this video. It's just in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I made this card special for someone, but here I'm gonna show it to everybody. But if someone sent me a card, I don't think I'd care if they showed it to people. Sorry for watching me drink my coffee. I just made coffee and I took one down to my husband because he's down in his shop, you know, doing guy stuff. And it's rainy and windy, hence the I look like I've been rained on and blown in the wind look. But you guys have convinced me, nobody cares. And thank you for your encouragement to keep doing videos. So I'll just keep doing videos. And but this isn't gonna be, I'm not even gonna upload this, I'm just gonna put this in with whenever I record again. But I want to show a couple cards so that I can mail them, and also, oh, socks. I want to show you the socks that I finished because then I can wear them, and whatever else. I don't know. There's not a lot here, but and I was gonna try to leave these on because after I recorded last, I went to the eye place at Kaiser, and I'm trying it, you guys. I don't know. These aren't them. They're on order, but I ordered some transitionals. I've tried them in the past, you know, and they made me dizzy, and especially walking, I felt like I just couldn't walk. And also, I guess, seeing. It's just, if you wear transitionals, you know what I'm talking about, but I think most people adapt, and I didn't. I think that I just didn't need it bad enough, you know? I think you get to that point where when you just really, when they have to go on and off so many times, I think the incentive might be greater now for me to adjust and learn how to deal with it. So that's my hope. We'll see. I think they might be ready sometime this next week. So that'll be, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also kind of a little bit of apprehension because I know I'm going to have to be committed to putting them on, leaving them on, and even when it gets uncomfortable, I'm just going to have to power through it. And I used to have a lot better discipline about that kind of stuff, you know, like when I was younger. It's probably going back a long ways, but now it's kind of like if something makes me uncomfortable, I just don't do it. And I need to probably reinvest some effort into having some discipline in life. Excuse me, I need to take a drink. I don't need it. It's not like, oh my gosh, I need my sip of coffee, but I hate it when I make a nice, wonderful cup of coffee and then it gets cold. I don't like microwaved coffee, but kind of a funny story. Not like tuna noodle soup funny at all. I don't think I'll ever top that, and it's not my goal. But we are sending, you know, we have one of those little Keurigs that I French press, but we have a Keurig, and I don't like it. And we're sending it to, Michael does one day a week at the Tractor store, and he doesn't have coffee there. And if you're dying for a cup of coffee, then I guess the Keurig will do. So sending it with him, and he likes sugar in his coffee. So I went to the store and bought a box of sugar cubes. I opened that box of sugar cubes to put them in an airtight container, and instantly sugar cubes, Elmer's glue, and the Missions of California just came flooding back. If you grew up going to school in the 70s, I don't know how far after that or before they did this, but in my school days in the 70s in California, we built Missions out of sugar cubes. And it was just so funny how, I think it's kind of like, I live in Oregon now, and I think like kids now, or they used to, they'd learn like about the Oregon Trail. And I think in California, in my era, that was kind of our Oregon Trail. But it was kind of funny because then I sent my brother a message, and he totally remembered, you know, what mission he did and everything. And it's funny how you have those little pockets of memories where even right down to the Elmer's glue, it was just kind of funny. And of course now the history lover in me wants to go actually learn about it all, because as a kid, all you cared about was, oh, I get to make, you know, I get to play with sugar cubes is what it came down to. But anyway, here's my socks finished that I'd shown last time. This was, you know, I have Kirby Werby on my mind because I just ordered a skein of her self-striping yarn. That's not who this is. And Freckled Whimsy. This is Freckled Whimsy DK weight. And I did tear back that other sock that I did too long, tore it back, and then did it the right length. So, see, I did some discipline. I did some discipline. I tore back my sock. So anyhow, now I can wear these, so I'm happy. I love this pattern. I showed it last time, the Maybe Baby DK. Well, I started a pair of fingering weight socks, just got them going, and I kind of wish I hadn't. I started them before Kirby Werby showed that she had these colorways. This one that I really wanted, which I don't need, and I haven't bought any yarn in a long time because I've been buying all the stamping stuff, but it was a fun one. And you know, she's just a sweet little girl. She's a mom, she's got kids, she's not a little girl. But anyway, I wish I'd known that she was going to do a colorway that I wanted, because I would have waited on these. But I got it going, and I'm just following, even though this is fingering, I'm just following the same stitch pattern. And I'm going to have to look it up to see if it's free, then I'll tell you what you do to get this cool look, which you might already know. You might just look at that and go, oh yeah, you get this by doing that. But I don't remember if that's a paid for. Well, you know what? You could look it up. I don't have to do anything. Maybe I'll link it. I say that all the time and then I rarely do, but I might. I didn't get them started at exactly the same place, so they're going to be off a little bit, but that doesn't, it kind of bothered, like if I'm going to not have a match, I want them to be clearly different, but I don't love it when it's off by, like, you know, half an inch, but I don't think I'm going to go back. No, I'm going to make the decision right now and just own it. I'm not going back for that, because these are for me. They're going to be on my feet. I don't see that good. It really just doesn't matter. Except I'm going to start seeing better because I'm going to have my transitionals on, which doesn't really help me see my feet, but whatever. I'm not going to let that bother me. I say that now. Next time I'll be like, oh yeah, I ripped it out. Oh, anyway, you can't tell yet, but that was, okay, it's Wise Owl Knits. And I was thinking in my head, by looking at the name, it was Klaus. K-L-A-U-S. To me, that says Klaus. But then I got to thinking, maybe it's Claus. Like, I guess I was thinking Santa Claus, which you don't spell Santa Claus, K-L-A. I don't really know. I'm not really a Santa Claus kind of person. So, oh, and another thing, I'm going to have to try to figure out how to tell you this. A friend of mine, Ashley on Instagram, sent me one of those little shorts, they call them, those little videos, and it was of a way to do increases. She wasn't doing it on toes, but I did it on my toes, and I loved it. And I'm going to try to see if I can find out who it was so I can maybe link it, but, and I'm not a tutorial person, but you're taking the stitch off your needle. No, you're taking it off your needle. This is going to be totally backwards because I don't even have the setup to do it. So I'm going to really try hard to find the little clip of it because it's a brilliant way to do increases. You know, sometimes when you're doing increases in toes, you get those little lumps from however you do it. This is great. You know, it's a very smooth, as usual, I'm not describing it very well, but that's another goal. Okay, so then the other quick thing I wanted to tell you guys about was, there's this gal, her name, I can't think of her real name, but Klompen Stamper. So we're moving on to stamping stuff now. And when I record again, I'll show you my baby blanket, how that's coming. I pulled out my I was doing a sweater, a cardigan a while back, and I abandoned it the end of November. So it's, you know, been quite a while. Pulled it out and figured out where I was at, how to do the stuff, everything. I did a couple rows. I'm just not into it. And so I might show it to you when I record again, but I don't know, like our hobbies, we've always had this discussion, you know, how much do you make yourself do something in your hobby that you really just don't want to do? And I think, you know, if I get that sweater finished, will I be happy? I don't know. I have yet to be really happy with anything that I've knit ever. So, except socks and hats. Socks and, oh, and that reminds me, I also found this yarn, again, in a Christmas bag. This is Skein Cocaine, and it was a mini skein set that she'd sent as a gift probably years ago. And so it was, you know, 5 mini skeins, but it wasn't fingering weight. I think it was worsted, but I divided each of those skeins in half because at some point I was going to do fingerless gloves with it. Well, I've since decided I want to do a hat with it, so I'm not sure. Like I said, I think it was worsted, but I'm not positive, so I think I'm just going to do a hat pattern that could be kind of DK worsted, and just hope for the best. So we'll see how that pans out. But anyway, back to this Stampin' Gal. And I'm definitely going to link her for you because she's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and she sells all sorts of tutorials, but I don't know if she has some tutorials for sale that you can't otherwise just follow along on YouTube. I can't speak to that, but the ones that I've watched so far, you know, you can buy her tutorials where it's all, you know, so you can print it out or whatever, but you can also watch it for free and then just take notes and stuff. And so that's what I've done so far. So she started doing these, like classes, for lack of a better term, on YouTube, and she has her husband helping her, and he's funny. And anyway, where you make these templates for your cards, and then like for fun folds and stuff, because I've just been fascinated with fun fold cards, because when I was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator 20 years ago, you know, we had cards. A fun fold to us was like, you can open it this way, or you can open it this way. That's fun. Or you could do it like long way and have it open up this way. But we just didn't have, we did other fun stuff, but you know, it's like everything else. It's just a whole different thing these days. So anyway, I watched one episode of her tutorials to make these templates, and there was 4 of them. And if you're a card maker, you just have to watch her and do these because they're awesome. So this was one of them. And I had bought this shimmery paper from Amazon because years ago Stampin' Up! Had a shimmery white that I loved, but they stopped carrying it. So I did some research. I'll just hide myself. At least I could have put a cute card up. I'll do that next time. Next sip, I will put a cute card up. But anyway, this, so I bought from Amazon this shimmery white that was supposedly comparable to the Stampin' Up! One. And it's pretty, but it doesn't like take the ink very well, and coloring on it is not, it just doesn't, it's just kind of weird. So I thought, well, this will be perfect. I can make these templates with using that as my card base because I won't miss it. And I've got some designer series paper that I don't love. It's not awful, but it's just, I won't miss it. I have so many that I love. So anyway, this was one of them. And you would put another piece of cardstock in here, but so that was like a real basic one. And then this one, see, cute, or you could do it. And you know, you'd put your own stuff on here, but it's just, you know, so that you have the measurements right here. It's really handy dandy. This one, so here's an example of her template. Okay, that's the template. And then I made this card following that template. Isn't that adorable? And see, that's not anything complicated. It's super easy. But I wouldn't have thought of that. And it's so cute. Okay, and then last one, this one. And I'd seen cards like this, like on Pinterest. I'd seen people posting these cards that look like this. And I was like, I will never do that. That looks way too complicated for my brain. It's like, I hate puzzles. I'm just not gonna do that. So this was the template. Looks all complicated, doesn't it? Ooh, fancy. It is so easy. So here's the card I did. And I have to say, I think this is my favorite card I've ever made because it's nautical. But look at that. Is that not the cutest? And it was so easy. Like, it was super fast. And I have some other ones that I did that I've already sent that were a pop-up kind of card that I didn't watch her tutorial for. I watched someone else. And I'll link her too. Her name's Julie, and she's like Sunny Days Stamping or something. Great. I just love the tutorials that are out there these days of, oh, I was going to take them off. And I'm gonna, all the great tutorials. And you know what I could do? I could just stop this, go grab my baby blanket, and show it to you. So this is the sweater. It's, can't, and if I hadn't taken my glasses off, you know, Amy Loudon. I don't think I have the name of the pattern. I don't. And it's probably going up the side. Oh no, that's the ticker box. Amy Loudon, Taylor Studio. I can't think of the name of it, but it doesn't matter. This is it. I'm so bad because I start these sweaters and I think, you know, I put all this work into them, and then like that one Stephen West one where I'm so, you guys, I start them, and then by the time I get that far on them, because it's like a long haul, I'm just not that into it. I need to just knit like a black sweater, a gray sweater, a navy. Navy's my favorite color. I should just do, why do I do all this other weird stuff? Because then I just get sick of it. But like, I know that if I did a solid color sweater, I'd be bored with it, but I know that I'd at least like it in the end, whereas some of these other things, not necessarily this one, but I don't look at this and go, oh, I can't wait to wear that. You know, I just can't wait to wear it. It's so soft and cushy though, because it's that fisherman's rib. And this yarn by Charming You is this wonderful silk blend. Okay. I was going to bring it back in here to kind of put it in hiding because I didn't think I'd work on it, but I think that now that I've touched it again and it's so squishy, I think I should just keep, even if I just do a few rows, you know, a couple times a week. It's in that awesome bag from Carrie, my friend Carrie. All right, I think I'll keep working on it. But my baby blanket, I don't know that I've made a super ton of progress on it, but we're up to that section now. So I'm still enjoying it. Yes, I just randomly smelled it because I have it in this great basket by Just Me Grandma, which I don't know. She was selling them somewhere before. I don't even know if she's still making them, but I love this basket. I love baskets. But I have a little thing of Tuft Woolen soap in here, and so I pulled that out and it was like, oh, that smells good. So anyhow, that's my, here I have, this is the gal Sunny Day Stamping, and that's the, I didn't use those balloons. I've used a couple other stamps. I've got pictures. I can put them in. I always have pictures. I'm a dork because I send some of my stamping friends pictures of my cards that I've made like a child. It's totally, but you know, you guys might do that with your knitting friends or your other friends, but you know, because you just want to be like, oh, look what I made. Well, Rebecca, my youngest, she's in Spain right now. Her and her boyfriend went to Spain for 2 weeks, so that's pretty cool. Good for them. And I think I can, no reason I can't share this. So she's been working as an assistant manager at the Fred Meyer in Longview. Well, she's been, bless her heart, she's both my girls are very motivated. You know, Renata, the older one, she's in the Marines. Rebecca went to OSU. She got scholarships, we paid for half of it. She paid for the other. She's just a hard worker. She doesn't have that entitlement issue that so many do these days. And then she's been working at Freddy's, and she's been applying at all these different jobs, and like Lower Columbia College, community college, it's LCC, whatever that means. It's in Longview, it's a community college. She has applied with them, I think she said 11 times since, you know, getting her master's. Actually, she applied for some positions before because she got her bachelor's down at OSU, and then she got her master's since then. And I think she applied a few times prior to getting her master's and then a few times after. But the kid has just stuck it out, applying and applying all these different jobs. She just wants to kind of get her foot in the door. She wants to kind of maybe work in education, not as a teacher, I don't think. But anyway, she got a job offer right before going to Spain to be a career advisor, I think. I'm always so clueless. I'm pretty sure that's the exact title, like maybe not the exact title, but of the nursing path or whatever. I don't know. I'll have to give you more details. I was just so happy for her, and it was so cool because we'd been waiting and waiting, and like she did all the different interviews, and she'd been through it before with them. You know, she'd been called back for a couple interviews before, and so when it happened this time, we're like, okay, let's try to not get our hopes up. But then they did a background check on her and started calling her references. And we're like, well, they're probably going to do a background check unless you were really in the running. So we were waiting and waiting, and it got to be Friday, and they had told her that she'd hear from them that week. And then it got to be Friday, and we're like, oh man. And then they were leaving for Spain that Tuesday, the following Tuesday. And it's like 4:30, her and her boyfriend came over for dinner, and we're down playing ping pong, and Michael's got his music blaring through the shop because our ping pong table's up in the area that we lived in the shop, up in the loft area when we were waiting for our house. And he goes down, and we're like, well, it's like 4:45 or whatever. You're not going to hear from him this week. You're just going to have to go off to Spain, not knowing, you know. And so Michael goes down to take the dogs out to go potty. And of course, her phone rings, and it's them. And she's like, can we turn that music down? I'm like, I don't even know how. You know, I go running down the stairs, not actually running, but moving faster than usual, in my socks, out through the shop, outside. I never walk outside in my socks. Yelling for him. I can't find him. I'm like, where did you take the dogs to go potty? So I'm yelling, trying to figure out how to turn off the music. And he's like, it's my phone. My phone's up there. You just, you know, use the phone. I'm like, I didn't even think of that. So go back up there. Well, by then Rich had figured out to just use his phone and turn it off. Because, you know, it was like the Bluetooth thing through some speakers. I don't know. But anyway, they offered her the job. So it was so cool that, that happened, and that it happened while she was here. And well, then because she's a Spanish speaker, they're like, well, in order to get the extra money, they needed her to, in order for her to qualify for the extra money for being a Spanish speaker, she had to take this test to prove that she's actually a Spanish speaker. And she's like, well, can you send it to me on Monday? Because it's some online thing, proctored by someone. And is that the right word? I don't even know if I use the right word, but anyway, they're like, yeah, we'll send it to you, whatever. Well, they didn't send it Monday, so she got it worked out to where they were going to do it Thursday. They flew out Tuesday, so they got there Wednesday. So then by Thursday, she's going to take this test. Kind of ironic that she was in Spain and to take this Spanish test. So, and she told them, I'm only gonna have my phone. Is that gonna work? They're like, oh yeah, that's fine. Well, then when it gets down to it, she can't use her phone. They're like, well, can you go find somewhere with a webcam? So they go to they find a library, and they're like, well, yeah, you could, but something wasn't working at the library. I think because it wasn't in a private room or something, it didn't meet the qualifications. So they're like, well, you could go to a gaming cafe. So she's like, okay, so they find this gaming cafe. I mean, obviously she didn't speak good enough Spanish. She wouldn't have been able to figure this out, but so they book it to a gaming cafe, and she rents a room in a gaming cafe. That sounds so like sleazy, but you know, it's not as bad as it sounds. I mean, it's whatever, you guys know. I'd never heard of such a thing, but I can imagine, and it's not like getting a hotel room for an hour. And it took 3 hours, but the test took her 3 hours, and she doesn't know how it went. She has to wait till she gets back to find out, but anyway, thought that was kind of funny. So, hello. Okay, I'm gonna finish up this whole video thing so I can edit it together. I recorded something the other day. I'm gonna try to splice this in with it because I have more information about things I was talking about. It's probably how I should just do videos. I should record a segment, and then all the things that I can't remember during that short segment, I can go look up and then splice it in with the old one. For example, so I told you guys about that really cool increase that I'd seen on an Instagram short. It is by Needle O Needle. Her name is Dolly, and she's Knitting Is My Yoga. And so you can go, I hope you're on Instagram, because if you're on Instagram, you can look her up and you could watch that video. I looked at her website, and I'm not sure, I don't know that there's a way to see it if you're not on Instagram. Like, I don't think she has a link. Sorry, my nose itches. And I also have a spot on my glasses, and it's gonna drive me nuts, but if I try to get it off of there, I'm gonna smear them. I don't have any glasses cleaners in here. But my new glasses are ready, so I'm gonna go get those. I don't know if I can do that today. I'm going down to the airport, which is like an hour away, to meet a friend. See how messy my desk is? I should clean that up. That's what I should be doing, but whatever. Anyhow, so that's that cool increase. The other, so stamping related, Klompen Stampers. Her name's Jackie. She's the one that does the fun tutorial things for card, you know, to do the different card templates. And I made 2 more of those fun folds. One of them's already in the envelope, but look at, isn't that so cute? I just love these. They're just so cute. These are the cutest cards. Fun folds. I love these fun folds. Okay. The sweater that I kind of vacillated on is Maybury, Maybury, I think. The one that I used to call Mayberry because, you know, Mayberry. And then I forgot to tell you guys about this pattern. It's a knitting pattern by Telly B Knits called Rainbow Bouquet. And what drew me to it was it reminds me of that blanket that it's crochet, but the one that I'd started back there with the, oh my gosh, allergies are a thing. That I'd started, you know, with the different minis with the black in between. It looks really cool. This totally reminded me of that. So I don't know that I'll ever do it. I bought the pattern, and through May 16th, my birthday, you can get 50% off of her pattern using the code RAINBOW. So just so you know, and I'll try to link it. So there's that. And I don't know that there was really anything else that I was gonna get back to you guys on. Oh yeah, there it is. It's sitting right here. I had said that I was gonna start a hat with that Skein Cocaine yarn, which I still don't know if it's DK or worsted. It feels pretty thin, but anyway, I did start a hat. So what's funny is, you know, this had come as the 5 mini skeins. I divided each of those mini skeins in half. Well, you know, then I decided I'm gonna do a hat instead of the mitts. So I put them all back together, but I kept them, so this will repeat. So this is gonna go like that. Then I'm about to start that color. Then it'll go to that dark wine color, and then it's gonna start back over, and I'll go through those again. I think I'm basically doing the Boyfriend Beanie, which is a free pattern. It says to just knit 2, purl 2 forever, like 9 inches, I think, and then do decreases. I don't really know how much yarn I have. I think that pattern is one that was kind of like, it could be DK or worsted. People have done both. I went down to a size 7, and I only cast on 100, which is what she said to do on a larger needle size using worsted. But my hats are always way too big, and I don't know, you know, when you're knitting a hat, you really can't tell, but until it's up a little bit more. I think it's gonna be fine, because like I said, every hat that I knit is too big, except the last one I did using Woolfolk, my favorite hat, the one with the cables, and that's considered an Aran weight, and I think that Woolfolk that I really like is a kind of a cotton blend of, like, I don't know what they call it, but they like poof the air through it, and I'm sure that's the technical term that they use in all of their communication. But that is my favorite hat, I think, because of it's like a cotton blend, and I think that's just better on me. So I'm probably knitting this for no particular reason. Like, I'll like it, I'll love how it looks, but I think I'm just gonna end up having to get some more of the Woolfolk if I want another hat really for me. The problem is I love these colors. And also, do you guys notice that, you know, you wear a hat for a while and it just gets bigger? And when you wash them, they also get bigger. So I don't want to throw it in the dryer. So it's almost like you have to knit a hat, wear it for a while, and then it's just over. But if you have a solution to that, let me know. But like, if you wash it and put it in the dryer, I know for a fact with Woolfolk, it's over then, because that's what I did to that one sweater, that turtle dove that I'd done in the Woolfolk that I loved. I had washed it and dried it, and it shrunk. And I don't want my hat to get that much smaller. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but you guys probably do. Someone does. Someone's going to tell me something that I never would have thought of. Or you're just going to say, yeah, just knit another hat, which is totally fine, you know. And I showed on the little segment that I recorded before that I might just cut out and replace with this, because I've made a little bit more progress. The, I'd have to combine the two because now I can't remember who this yarn is by. It's something about an owl. Ugh, I hate my brain sometimes. But I did make a little more progress. Not a lot on that one. Knit through one repeat, so now it'll start with the gray again. That's really cool. But basically it's a knit 2, purl 2, but you're doing when you get to the knit stitches, you're slipping one, knitting one, yarn over, and then you slip that. You pass that once. Oh gosh, just go get it. Just go get it. I can't tell you anything. I can't tell you anything helpful. I can just show you stuff because that's what I do. That much I can do. I got some Stampin' Up! Stuff. Haven't even opened my markers. I fell in love with these markers. We're back to stamping again. I fell in love with the markers. I didn't want to, because I'd gone and bought, you know, some Copic or Copic, however you say it, the alcohol markers that blend nicely, but then there's like a million colors by them, and I'm not good at all that color stuff. Whether I'm stamping, knitting, or crocheting, I struggle with that. But so Stampin' Up! Came out with these markers that are alcohol markers, so they blend nicely, and then they come in these 2 packs. One is a darker shade and a lighter shade. So that's been just another thing to get hooked on and enjoy. And their new catalog just came out, and I have to admit I'm not overly in love with really much that I've seen in it, but they did this color wheel in the catalog that I tore out and put on a piece of whatever you call that stuff and stuck it in a project. Also, whatever you call those, you know, those plastic paper things, you know, the paper page protector. I think that's what it is, a page protector. But so that's cool. You know, I told you about that Misty a couple times back. Well, now I got this little thing that actually will not just be cool for the Misty, but even just on, like, if you're doing a stamp that's on a larger block, I think, you know, you put that on and you just kind of, I'm a gadget person. I was a gadget person with knitting stuff. I'm a gadget person with stamping stuff. And there are so many more gadgets now than when I used to stamp. So that's kind of fun. And this pretty paper, I haven't even opened it yet, but it's Meandering Meadows. I know there's some pretty ones in there. And Heather had sent a really pretty card. Let me show you. She had sent a card with that paper. Isn't that awesome? And I don't have that die cut that does that black border, but I have several. Well, I have a few that are kind of like that will totally suffice. So that's fun. Other than that, I think that's about it. Oh, I gotta, for those of you that are into stamping and you have the machine, you know, the Sizzix or whatever brand you have, I got a new embossing folder. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Because I'll put it to use at some point with either those ones that I bought from eBay. I got this old retired Stampin' Up! Set called Sailing Home with the lighthouse, the sailboats, the compass, the anchor. That was awesome. And another one, it came with, I wouldn't have necessarily picked it, but it just came with it. Oh, I don't see it. I don't see it. Oh, the Open Sea. I couldn't remember what it was called, and I have my stamp sets, the Stampin' Up! Ones alphabetical, and I couldn't remember what it was called. But that one, like, I wouldn't have picked that. It's cool, but I mean, it's actually really cool. I'm glad she sent it. But it was the eBay was for the other one, this, and the die set to the Sailing Home. And then I had bought those, I don't think I'd shown them, but these couple of lighthouse ones that have the nice verses in them. And these were from Stamp Simply. Yeah, both of them. Stamp Simply. He Stilled the Storm and He Is the Light. Both, like I said, they have really great verses in them. So I'm set on my nautical themed stuff. Plus this paper I got from, I think the same place. It's called Sea and Shore by Hackney & Co. It is such awesome. I think I might have, did I show you guys? I think I showed you this. I either showed you or, no, I think what I did was I bugged my stamping friends and sent them videos of this paper just because I thought it was so, maybe I did this on a video, I don't remember, but it's just so fun. Look at those little guys, they're so cute. What else do we have? Lobsters, I guess. They're red and they've got those things, so I think those are lobsters. That one's, oh, and then blue crabs, which we don't have on the West Coast, but I hear you guys have them on the East Coast and they're very pretty. I can't eat any of that because I have an allergy. The shells, pretty. More shells. Oh, that's about it, but they're pretty. Okay, that is all. That's all, folks. That was a cartoon. Remember that? Looney Tunes. That's appropriate, isn't it? So anyway, I will try to get this dealt with later after I get back from my traveling adventures, which usually just after driving. I just don't like driving south of here, like towards Portland. I don't mind if I am gonna go north. It's just, there's just not as much congestion. So I don't mind driving, like just driving along, listening to a book or, you know, whatever. But you get down around all the people, and I don't know about where you are, but we have a severe lack of any kind of enforcement on our roadways. And so it's like the Wild West out there on the roads. I don't mean that like there's any gunslingers, but you know, like I haven't witnessed any drive-by shootings on the freeway. I don't mean it quite that bad, but it's probably just a matter of time. But it's just, nobody obeys any kind of traffic safety at all, you know, like, so by the time I get home, I'm usually a little bit stressed out just because that's too much, too much exposure. It's too much exposure to the real world, and I'm just happy in my little bubble out here. So anyhow, hope you guys are doing good, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.